What's up, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube. I am going to do a quick preview here for the GSL. I've been making some content around StarCraft 1. Just recently did an interview with Dark, by the way, on this channel, where we talked about him joining his new team and his thoughts for the future. But with me going into the studio tomorrow, I thought I'd give you guys a quick update. Please do subscribe and like the video. GSL is back. It is on for 2 seasons this year with plans unclear. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second, but not clear what's next for GSL after we get done with the Gamers World Cup in Riyadh. First of all, this tournament is now every Thursday. So it used to be 2 days a week. I know there was periods where it was like Thursday and Saturday even. It's moved around quite a bit. Right now, it is going to be every Thursday. I think because the tournament had been shortened over the last year or two, the studio basically decided it was better to stretch it out. And I kind of like that. I felt like GSL felt a little bit rushed when we banged everything out in like just a handful of weeks and then we were done. So if you want to come, it's at 6:30. You get the ticket through Ticket Link. It's available right here on Team Liquid. You can see it down here at the bottom. And definitely come check it out. It's in the same studio in Samsung by not far from Samsung Station Exit 1. So, Group A. We've got Maru, Su, Shin, and DRG. Now, Shin is not some new player for StarCraft 2. This is Ragnarok. I don't know why he changed his ID, but he did. And so, that's what we're calling him now. Unless, sometimes these guys change their ID and I get to the studio and they're like, no, we went back to the old ID. But he's going to be in this group. I think Maru is the clear favorite to get out. He had an amazing run in IEM. He is still basically the superstar of Korea. We've had periods where Rogue was a threat to him. He's not here in this season right now. Dark is another threat. I'll talk about him in a second. But Maru, he should just get out of this group. He's never really had a tough time in TVZ. He's been the guy that's basically proven that even when Zergs seem like they're almost too good, not good enough to beat Maru. So Su, Shin, and DRG. Now, I really don't know who takes this. I think it's supposed to be Shin, also known as Ragnarok. Su has looked good, but has floundered in several of these GSLs. And DRG, I have a very hard time putting my finger on it. You've probably heard me say that when I cast his games. Sometimes he looks so good, like perfect. And then other times he doesn't seem to be quite on top of it. But one of the ways to look at a group like this is it's going to be about who has the best ZVZ at the end of the day. It's really kind of a ZVZ test group. I think DRG probably beats any of these 3 guys. And so, from that perspective, it's going to come down to who's got the best ZVZ, who's got a handle on the meta or on how their opponents play the game, stuff like that. On into Group B, Dark, Stats, Classic, and Bunny. This is a great group. This is probably the group I'm the most excited about. I think Dark, again, probably going to take it. Check that interview I did with him on this YouTube channel. It was very cool. I got to be part of the Talent Esports announcement video where you can see me try to act. And you can see why I'm casting and not acting for a living. We did a funny skit there. That's on their X or Twitter or whatever it's called now account. And then I got to do an in-depth interview with him where we talked about a lot of stuff, about his motivations, his thoughts on the future of RTS, his take on where StarCraft 2 is right now. It was a really fun experience for me to have. Stats, Classic, and Bunny. I think Classic... or maybe Bunny should be able to take this. Stats has looked really good, but he has not been able to be the Stats of the past. Stats was always so good at kind of playing the most conservative version of Protoss, which, by the way, seems to be the one that has the least success. The kind of passive macro, development Protoss. StarCraft 1, it seems like you can have Protosses that play like that. I think StarCraft 2 has historically rewarded the active Protoss or the deceptive Protoss a little bit more. But let's see what he's got. He managed to qualify in what is a pretty tiny GSL now. Don't forget, we started this out like 12 years ago. This was like a 64-person tournament. And then for a lot of it, it's been a 32-person tournament. So he's still top 16. Still got a shot. Bunny obviously has played phenomenally. Why is GSL so small now? Blizzard pulled support out, so they had to dial back spending. And the easiest way to do that is to reduce the days. But this is a good one. After Dark, I'm not sure who's going to take this. But I think Dark's an easy call. And I look forward to seeing those games for Group B. Over to Group C, We've got Gumiho, Nightmare, Beyond, and Creator. Beyond had a pretty good run at IEM. Gumiho has looked extremely strong. Creator, man, if there's one guy I'm rooting for every time I watch GSL, I really do want him to win. He has been with us since the very beginning. It's no secret at this point in time. He's an emotional player. I wouldn't even bring that up, except that he's doing it on camera, so there's no hiding it, right? Some players react better or worse when they're in the green room, you know, than players when they're on camera. But look, he's struggled with digesting his losses and taking those losses and building them into himself to come out as a stronger player in the next competitive match. And I think this is like every GSL, every tournament match, it's an opportunity for him to do that. I think this is a group he could do. He did have a pretty crazy run several GSLs ago. But we will have to wait and see. He's shown, I think, some of the biggest range of play from like really good conservative play to hyper cheesy, crazy stuff and everything in between. But then you look at a player like Gumiho as an example. He's just been way more consistent, really good, still with his weird style that, you know, it does seem like you're going to definitely have a couple weird stuff with Cyclones, but maybe something else. There's a lot of different ways this could go. Nightmare is good. I think he might be the weakest player in the group, but he does surprise us from time to time. And Beyond is Beyond. He's looking good. He's definitely been, I think, a better version of even himself in the past, but very much about pushes, timing, eking out damage. That's going to be a fun group for sure. In Group D, Solar, Ryung, Cure, Hero. So Solar has been a real workhorse. He has really been grinding out a lot and shown a lot of great games here. I always felt like he was in a bit of a funny position in Korea because he was pretty consistently overshadowed by the other Zergs in the region. You know, your Darks, your Rogues, even your Sus in the past. But he has really stuck with us for a long time. And he's been extremely hungry, extremely motivated. He's looking more and more solid. So he would be my pick to get out of here, along with Hero. Everybody says Hero is a little bit too hard to prep verse. It's pretty tricky to know what he's going to do. I've oftentimes called Hero kind of the Protoss's Protoss. But he's had his moments of darkness. You know, Protoss has had kind of a weird time in the last several years of StarCraft 2. And this is one of those things that's kind of uncomfortable, I think, for some fans to talk about. But they don't seem to have the same kind of results as we've seen with Zergs or some Terrans. But if anybody can show the craziest play with Protoss, I think it's probably Hero. I think he's probably the best Protoss in this group if he's playing up to his ability. Ryung is good, but I don't know that he's in the kind of condition that these other players are in this group. I think he's an easy pick for me to say he'll probably fall out. He has like parts of his play that seem really good, but then there's periods where, especially in some of these longer games, he doesn't always seem to be able to, like, he can push in micro and drop really, really well, but he doesn't seem to also be able to keep up with the full macro thing. It's almost like he's an incomplete Maru, if that makes sense. Like, he's got a lot of crazy aggressive stuff, but you know, when you're watching Maru push across the map, you're also watching him take, like, you know, several bases, cover everything. It's like Maru is able to use his APM more completely or something like that. Cure could just do this too. I don't know why. Now that I'm looking at this group again, I'm like, well, maybe Cure could just get out. He's looked great. He's looked crazy good. So that's a tough one. I'm actually going to change my answers. Solar, Cure, Hero are the people that should get out. It could be any of the two. I think Ryung doesn't make it. No disrespect to Ryung. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this group. I hope you guys can come down and check out the event live if you're here. So to get tickets for the live audience will continue to be sold through Ticket Link. Now, if you go to Ticket Link and it shows up in Korean, like you're in Korea, you can right click. Oh, I guess it's not going to show up here. You can right click on Chrome on the website and click Translate to English. I think some people that haven't been in foreign countries don't know this. You can just have a website translated for you. I don't know if there's also some English version you buy tickets on normally, but if you feel like you're somehow locked out of the system because you can't read the website, that's how you do it. If you're going to come, please do buy a ticket ahead of time. I don't think the studio will fill up for the round of 16. It's a pretty big studio. But, you know, there's not a lot of GSL days, and sometimes we just have a higher influx of tourists that come into the country. And, you know, people will expect that they can take their evening off and come down, and they can't get in. If you don't have a ticket, you can buy a ticket through the website on your phone at the front desk. But as of the last GSL I did, there was no system where you could just give money to the person at the desk and they would give that, you know, give you some ticket they punched. Unless that changes. If that changes, I'll let you guys know. But for now, that's what's going on with that. But again, I'm so happy to be doing another season of GSL. I think State has done a great job casting and filling in for Artosis here. He's brought a lot of analysis and insight. I think he's really, you know, gotten comfortable up there on stage casting with me. And again, you know, it's so crazy. This is the longest lasting esports tournament that there is. This has outlived the OSL and the MSL, certainly outlived Overwatch League. And so I'm excited to be back and doing it. I'm really proud of this show, and I'm looking forward to crowning another champion here in Korea. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of content, please do like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this season of GSL and who you're rooting for. Also, see this APM shirt? I don't know if you can. See that? That's my merch shop, tastelessthreads.com. Go down there, check out what we've got. We've got a lot of RTS, esports, gaming, art, I don't know, all kinds of cool stuff that you can check out there. So do that for me. Have a great day. And feel free to join me on my Twitch stream where I make this content live. Tasteless TV. Have a good one. Bye-bye.